Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone with my dear sister from another mother, Tamra Oviatt. Hi, Tamra. So Tamra and I, before we got on, we were trying to remember when we first met. She'll tell you her story of how she was gifted this incredible healing modality called sacred activations. And I think I found you on Facebook right after you first started being activated when you were in Italy. And then I kept bugging you, and you came to my house. And we put on all these events, and we were trying to figure out if it was 2014 or 2015. It was over 10 years.
2013 and 2014.
Wow.
Yeah, I came in the fall of 2013 and I came back in the winter of 2014.
Wow. Well, we had so much fun. I'm still giggling remembering about that trip because Tamra will tell you her story.
Which one?
Well, the thing is sacred activations is super powerful, but it's easy, at least the way Tamra does it. And she teaches practitioners how to do it as well. So why don't we start with, for the people that are new to your modality, why don't we start with your story, and then we can add other questions and other information afterwards, okay?
Absolutely. So I'm going to shorten the story like this instead of doing this, okay? Because I could write a couple books about this story of what's happened to me over the last several years. But 1999, I kept being told I was supposed to be a healer. I was in other work. I was a single mom, 2 kids. I kept hearing it over and over and over. So I finally said, okay, what do I do? I knew nothing about any of this. I didn't know about angels. I didn't know about spirit guides. I knew nothing. And so I saw this ad, and they used to have magazines with ads with events and stuff. And I met this Verdict astrologer through there. And then he said he taught hypnosis. So I said, I want to learn. So I used to go to his house in Marina Del Rey and learned hypnosis from him. He was so magical. And so that was my first modality. And then I started teaching angel classes on how to talk to your angels, because once I learned hypnosis, I started connecting in and I met my spirit guide. I started talking to angels, and it was really magical. And that was like 1999. And so the path led through several different modalities. And I kept thinking I was going to teach them and I would take it all the way. I would go through all the master programs, teach her everything, and nothing would ever work out for me. And when I was doing the trainings, I always hear, this is for your training, not what you're going to be doing. I was so confused. And I was trying to be a healer full time. I left my very well-paying job to become a healer full time, and I fell flat on my face. I mean, I was on food stamps. I couldn't create any money. I created enough to live, but that was it. And it was because of all my subconscious belief systems, of course, because I grew up in a lot of lack, a lot of limitations. I remember when my mom bought me 2 pairs of shoes for junior high school, I was over the moon to own 2 pairs of shoes. And I used to have a closet with 1 dress hanging in it that my grandmother made me for Easter. So this is my programming where I was in. So I could understand me not being able to do anything for myself. Of course, at the time I didn't know. But in 2011, I started talking to this guy in England, and I was a single mom since I think 96. And so 2011, I'm talking to this guy in England. He's like, Tamra, I want to marry you. We'll mostly live over here. So I thought, okay, fine. Maybe I'm supposed to go over there and start my business. And so I went over there, and early March 2012, and connected with him. And I knew when I met him, there was no way I was going to marry him. And I had $200 in my account and no credit cards. And I went for a walk one morning, and I'm walking through this graveyard in England. Oh my God, they have the best graveyards. And I'm walking through and I'm yelling at God, what the heck am I doing here? And that was not the word I used. and I heard to go to the Rosslyn Chapel. So I went back to his house. I told him what I heard. I booked a B&B in a train for the next day. And then I heard to have one of my clients meet me at the chapel because she lived in Scotland. So she said, yes, she could do that. So 2 days later, I was sitting in the Rosslyn Chapel, and I connected. I walked around and looked around, and I sat in the pews. I said, okay, God, I'm here. And I heard to go in the Akashic records, and I went in the Akashic records, and there was this being standing there, which I'd never seen anybody in the Akashic records before. And I said, who are you and what do you want? And he said, I'm Lord Metatron. I'm here to assist you. So with that, all this energy started coming in the top of my head. It was followed up by these golden seals. I was dizzy. And when we were driving away from the church, I heard, you're now crystalline, give these to others. So I went back to my B&B. I started giving these activations to all my friends on Skype. And then I just knew it wasn't time to go home. I went back to this guy's house, and it was time for me to leave because I had booked a 3-week trip. And it was time for me to go, but I knew I wasn't supposed to leave. And so I emailed this guy that had interviewed me, and I met him on Facebook. And I said, I need a cheap place to stay. And he said his girlfriend and him just got an apartment or a house in London, and that I could rent a room from them. So I traded a class with him and then paid him a little bit every week to stay there. And I was able to stay there for 2 months. And during this time, I was going into meditations, and Lord Metatron would come and get me, and he took me to Arctus, and I saw this big, tall blue being standing there, and it scared the crap out of me because I'd never seen aliens before. And I went back into my body. And then the next night I went into meditation. Lord Metatron came in again. He says, come with me. This time, don't run. And I went with him again, and we went to Arctus again. And again, I saw this being, and this time I stayed. And she said, you and I are one. I was looking at her. She's tall and blue. And it was like, wow, it was just so amazing to me. And I didn't really know what that meant at the time. So here I am in London, and then he needs the room because his daughters are coming from France. And then I emailed out my email list, which was in my Hotmail email list, right? So sent it out to some people what I was doing now, because I'd gotten a couple activations by then. And I had this other client from California said he was in London and he wanted a session. So I did a session with him. And then he was headed to Spain. So I ended up going to Spain with him with his wife's permission, and stayed on this mountaintop for, I think it was 2 months. And it was off grid. We had the water coming in from a stream. We were on solar with really bad batteries. The solar only lasts a couple hours. So anytime after, I think it was like 6 o'clock, you're on flashlight, right? And then from there, they invited me back to their house, which was near Avebury. And I went to Avebury, England for the first time. And I was just blown away. And then they took me to Glastonbury, blown away there. Ended up moving to Glastonbury for a couple months. And oh my God, what a healing, the heart chakra of the world. And then I went over to Italy for 3 months. And that's, Kathy, that's where you contacted me on Facebook. And I did a private session with you. And it was this whole thing, these sacred activations really started with sacred geometry activations. And I didn't even know what sacred geometry was. The first activation I called the Lord Metatron activation, but it upgrades up to 18 strands of your DNA. And then there's the Christ consciousness activation that I received on the mountaintop in Spain. And actually Christ came and put his hand on my heart when I was receiving this one. And then Moses came when I was in Stonehenge, and I got the Moses codes, which is the tree of life. And I also got a very Stonehenge activation there. And I'm bringing all this in really quick and tight here. So I'm not going for 3 hours on this story, which is absolutely incredible. But these healings and changes everybody was receiving was blowing me away. I was like, I got goosebumps right now talking about it.
Me
Absolute
too.
shock what was happening to people. People were going into surgery and their cancer was gone. And it was one lady got off of a walker from a stroke, and she was totally off her walker after. And I was working with her for a year. Using my other modalities and stuff. And no matter what I did, wouldn't help her. And I ran 3 activations, first 3 activations I'm telling you about. And she was off her walker. So yeah, they're just absolutely incredible. And I ended up staying in Europe for 8 years. And that's where Sacred Activations was born. I was given the name by Source Energy, gave me the name to call it Sacred Activations. 95% of the activations are all channeled in from Source, given to me. Some of my my practitioners now channel in some really good activations too, and that's what you can do after you become a master practitioner. But the modality blows me away. I'm a steward of it. I didn't create it. I didn't know what sacred geometry was. I didn't really know what the subconsciousness really meant, except through hypnosis, that you could change things in hypnosis. And I saw that work in other practices, but really with sacred activations is where I started learning about all of this. And the activations rewire your subconscious programming. So now we're calling it metaprogramming in the human biocomputer because it's intelligent. It's intelligent software that keeps rewriting your DNA, your subconscious programming, and upgrading it. So that's my story.
Well, what I want to add so much to this, because you can hear Tamra's humble about the way all of this unfolded, because she was following her divine instinct, her divine guidance. But she didn't know, like when I met you, you were still going, okay, okay, I'm getting more downloads. But you were upbeat and happy and excited about it. You weren't scared. And so many people right now, that's their block, is they're scared of what's to come rather than excited about what's to come. And what you did is you were pretty courageous, as far as I could see, about accepting what came through, knowing it was divine, and then testing it. Because just the fact that when you first got the first sacred geometry activations, you called all your friends and did it on Skype, because I remember being on Skype with you. I mean, you were like going, hey guys, look what this does. Or tell me what it does. Right?
Yeah. Well, a lot of times I didn't know what it did. I just got this activation and here's the name of it. I'm not sure what it's going to do. Let me know what happens.
Well, that was what was so cool about it, is we all were in on the adventure of you unfolding. Yeah. But you weren't angry or frustrated or unhappy that it was taking a while. At least to us, you were just bringing it through. And I know you did 2, I think, weekends with us here in Boulder, and the people were transformed. I mean, they were, it was night and day. And these were people that were like Hay House authors. They were big names. I'm not going to name them, that were in the audience that were like, what was that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that happened is, while Tamra was here, she had a booth at a conference that I used to co-sponsor called the Evolve Expo. And American Indian grandmother was supposed to come and speak, and she couldn't come. So Tamra just became a keynote speaker out of nowhere. Right? I mean, that just happened. I mean, stuff like that happens to you all the time. But that just happened. And she was amazing. I mean, seriously, that's part of what I hope people get from our conversation about the courage to be playing with your life at a different level and welcoming this adventure rather than being fearful of it. Do you want to talk about anything about that? Like all the firsts that keep happening for you?
Well, what's funny is when you're bringing that up, I got to speak twice that weekend. So I got to speak, and then they let me speak again. I got to be the keynote, the main person. And I mean, this was early on, and I was just blown away. And I remember one of the other participants, he was pretty well known. He was pretty mad that I got to have that spot, and I didn't understand it, but I feel very honored that I got to do that. And sacred activations is so easy, like Kathy said, but it's so powerful. And I didn't stay out of the way when I ran the energy that day, and I actually knocked myself sideways. And that night was throwing up, and I couldn't get out of bed. And I had a booth, and I was the only one at my booth. And I had all these people coming by to meet me, and I couldn't even be there.
I was at the next booth over, so I was watching both our booths.
Yeah, you're all, Kathy's all, people are coming to meet you. It's like, I can't get out of bed, man. And, Source told me, stay out of the energy, stay out of the energy. Me? Oh, no, not me. I just jumped right into it. So that was so embarrassing. I was so embarrassed that happened, but it was absolutely amazing, incredible event. And that was my first speaking event, which was really cool. What was weird is I just went up there, and that's what I do anyways during the trainings and stuff. I just get up and it just flows in. I just get out of the way and it just flows in and the information comes in. So I'm not nervous because it's just coming out.
Right. Well, the thing is, that's what I'm trying to explain to people is that if you can drop the program of fear and holding yourself back, there is just a delightful playground here. I mean, you didn't come here necessarily to suffer, although everyone seems to make it sound like that. But a lot of healers do say, oh, you have to go through your shadow and, work at it. And honestly, Tamra's playing.
I'm having a good time. I'm helping people. And if I waited till all my stuff was gone, I wouldn't show up yet.
Right.
And by showing up and being real and honest with people, it helps me heal. Every time I teach, every time I connect, I also change. So if you're a healer and you're waiting, don't wait. There's people out there for you, and there's no competition because everybody is attracted to somebody. So it doesn't matter who you are, be who you are. Don't think you need to be different. And you have to be special, and certainly don't go into your ego like you're so freaking cool. Be real, be honest, be present, show who you are, because that's what people relate to. Mm-hmm. And play and have fun. We're not here to suffer. That's a collective consciousness program that a lot of people plug into it. You don't have to plug into it. You can learn more from joy and happiness than you can from suffering. And don't spin out in the suffering, because believe me, if you're not in control of your subconscious programming, the collective is. And it's going to program you with sorrow, sadness, fear, guilt, hurt, sickness, pain, suffering, broke. It's all out there. It's all there for you. But so is happiness and joy and high vibes and comfort and love and excitement. That's also there. So it's like, what are you plugging into? And if you are plugging into all that negativity, you got to change your subconscious programming. Of course, I'm going to tell you to use sacred activations. I think it's the fastest, easiest way to do it, but it can be brutal because it'll change your belief system so fast. say you're playing a video game on level 1. Well, it might take you to 2 or 3 within a couple days or a couple weeks. And it's going to be shocking at first and can be a little overwhelming. So I'm not going to sugarcoat this. This isn't a modality that you play with. Oh, look, this is fun. No, this is going to change your life. I just got an email from one of my practitioners. She just did my Glastonbury event, and she got home. She was on her sofa. She couldn't move. She's bawling her eyes out for a couple weeks. And I just got an email from her. Oh my God, I'm doing so amazing. I'm doing these events. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. And within 30 days, her life has totally shifted. But for a couple of weeks, she was like, what the heck's going on? What's wrong with me? And so it too, oh my God, my life's amazing. And she is now scheduling and doing events and showing up. And she says, I'm smiling all the time. She said her nickname as a child was Grumpy. She didn't speak up before. She was in hiding. She's no longer in hiding. So the shifts are super fast and super powerful. And while you're going through them, you might be cussing me out because you haven't gotten to the other side yet. I get it.
Well, the thing is that I can tell you that I when I have a session with Tamra, or when I do the recordings or do the lives, I bought I bought a lot. And I did the practitioner class, and then I haven't done the master practitioner. I think that's next for me. But I do listen to the recordings, and it does take a couple days before you go, I don't even feel that anymore. It's like it's totally gone, whatever that thing was. And it gets rid of the layers of it as well. It's not so many of the things are in our subconscious are there to protect us, or what our body or our concept thinks is protection. And a lot of that isn't necessary anymore. And we don't know what we're running until we start to peel it back. And there's layers and layers and layers. And sometimes you unpack the layer below before that one. And that seems to be when I have trouble, because both of them are going.
Yeah.
Right? Is that a good way to explain it?
Yeah, because all these programs you used to run are all of a sudden just gone, and you're a little lost. So it's like playing a video game. When you go to that next level, you're a little lost and you're having to learn again, but it starts filling in. And, within a couple of days, you're at this next level and you're able to play again. But sometimes it's a little shocking. It really is. But sometimes people don't even notice. They go, oh, I did the activations and I didn't feel anything. And then they tell me all the things they're doing in their life. So they're telling me all the changes that happened, but yet they didn't feel anything. And I think they're the lucky ones.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, could you talk a little bit more about metaprogramming so people can understand that? Because I think there's so many people right now that they're going in and out of fear because of global consciousness and the whole play that's on in the media, and they want to be informed, but they're really being hooked by it. And they, once they get out of it, they're going to see such a different opportunity for them here. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Oh my God, it's so much calmer not being sucked into that. And I don't care if what party you belong to, political party, or if you're religious, or you're spiritual, or you're vegan, or you're meat eater. There's so many division programs. There's so many of them. And they're here to keep us stuck in the matrix. You got to eat what works for you. And you got to take care of you. And there's a lot of things too that if you take care of yourself, you're selfish. So it keeps you with a bleeding heart, and having to take care of everyone else, or the government shut down, this is going to happen or that's going to happen. Oh yeah, the meteor that's out there. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? And then a lot of the starseeds are saying they're coming to save us. I remember 2012 December. I mean, the reason I was in Spain on that mountaintop is because this man and his wife believed the 2012 into the world. So they were off the grid. They had barrels of beans and rice. They had flashlights and extra underwear and bras and stuff, all in this house to live on because the world was going to end. And the same narrative keeps happening over and over and over again. It's just fear programs that keep you sucked into the matrix and keep the matrix alive. It's just like a restaurant. If you stop going to the restaurant and everybody stops going to the restaurant, what happens? The restaurant closes. It's the same thing with the matrix. We are changing. The collective consciousness is changing. We have tipped the scale. We have hit that critical number. And so all of this stuff is coming up. The world consciousness, the dark night of the soul, the whole world is going, right? And then there's these, what we call bad actors, but guess what? They're still actors. They're still trying to program the matrix to keep it alive. There's a lot of different alien groups that are on the good side and the bad side. And there's this big spiritual war going on, right? It's just a video game. It's just a video game. Quit calling people good and bad. It just is. And it's all there for your amusement and to keep you stuck playing the game. We get heaven on earth. We get clean waters, clean skies, beautiful bees and butterflies, and all this stuff returns when we return it in our consciousness. We have to have it in our hearts, and then we start seeing it. I remember it's been a couple months ago. It was springtime. I was in my swimming pool, and I'm like, I haven't seen many butterflies. Where's all the butterflies? I swear to God, within 20 minutes, I must have had 100 butterflies fly over my head, maybe 500. I mean, because it was like, I want to see butterflies, and boom, they showed up. I was talking about love bubbles one day from the Octarians were giving us these love bubbles coming down. It's like these hearts coming down. And I'm teaching a class, and I look out at my swimming pool, and these bubbles, I guess somebody on the beach was blowing bubbles or something, but they came by and bounced off my water in my pool. And I'm like, holy cow. So it's the world, the matrix is so amazing and powerful and incredible. And it's all a mirror to you on what you're thinking about. It's all mirroring your thought is what you're going to see and what you're going to plug into.
Perfect. So Tamra, for people that are just starting this journey, which there are so many people just starting this journey, what do you suggest for them? Because they're whether or not it's their societal programs, their role in their family or religion or politics, whatever it may be, they are seeing that they need to break free. And could you talk a little bit about what you see as a journey using your modality for them to start getting a benefit right away?
It is a journey. We can't play level 1 video game and jump to level 10. It's just impossible. Your mind would go. And I asked God, why can't I just do this, right? And I saw so I got this vision of this man going through the mountains on his horse, And then a spaceship picks him up, puts him in a spaceship, and now he's flying a spaceship through space. Right? It just can't happen. So everything is here for us. And we are like computers, and we're living on these programs because the programs are running your subconscious belief systems. So we have to change the programs. We have to change the subconscious programming. And it is a process. I mean, we have whatever you need with sacred activations. We have all the sacred geometry activations, which are going to shift you super, super fast. But we also have trauma deactivations where you're clearing your childhood trauma. You're clearing 0 to 7, sexual abuse, your family line, your family relationships, which is a lot of your stuff. I mean, even if you just start with all the family stuff, it's going to change you and your whole area of all of your life, really. So changing that young programming, because, we're in theta for the first 7 years, and a lot of the programming, it doesn't matter what age you're at, you're still running the programming you got before you're 7. So we're creating our future from that. Maybe at that age, you thought when, 70 was old, or 70-year-olds got this disease or that disease, or 50, or whatever age that is, that you saw that and you plugged into it. Or when you're at a certain age, you got to look a certain way. So we start running those programs and we put them in our timeline. So we create those for our future. So when you change those subconscious programming, it fills in with happy, happy, joy, joy. So what happens is the universe just starts bringing you stuff that's going to bring you happiness and joy instead. And of course you have to work at this. What I mean is you've got to do some meditations. You've got to center yourself 5 minutes a day. Write down a list of what you desire to see. Don't just be a victim of the collective consciousness throwing whatever it is at you. You have to be the creator of your life. And Kathy, you did ask me about the metaprogramming. I didn't really understand it. And I was at this float tank, and I think it was 2019 in Jacksonville, Florida. And on the table was this book by this doctor, and he talks about metaprogramming in the human biocomputer. And I read the definition on it, and I went, oh my God, that's what we're doing. Because sacred activations is intelligent software being downloaded on your PC, your consciousness, and it starts rewriting and upgrading the software, and it keeps working. So once you do an activation, it keeps working on you. Sure, you can go back and listen to it again, but you don't have to listen to it 21 days in a row standing on your head. It's unnecessary, because once you listen to it once, it starts working on you, and then you listen to it later, and then it goes to that next level. But I've noticed when I used to do a lot of privates, I couldn't do a private with somebody right away again because there wasn't anything to work on, because they weren't done clearing that out. So I always tell people you have to wait for your next private session with me, so that their subconscious is cleared of all that stuff we worked on, and then we do the next level, and then we get a lot of information and be able to go to that next level of the game.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for explaining that, because what I've found is that I've reused a lot of these programs when a little hint of something comes back. So it seems like it'll
Comes back, or a different layer of it.
A different layer of it, or I get triggered by my family, or something happens where it's like, oh, there you are, you little devil. And then I'll listen to an 8-minute long recording. And I don't have to do much except put the headphones on and maybe lie down to do it. And it's amazing. This is amazing method for people to really become free.
Yeah.
And that's really what I'm hoping with this conversation, that people discover this path to freedom with you, because what happens is there's no need to keep repeating the same old patterns anymore.
Right.
This is not just like hypnotherapy, do this every day for a month and then it comes, goes away. This is lightning fast. And we warned you a little bit about the discomfort, but you may not have any discomfort.
No. There's some people that have no thought of anything, but yet their life has changed.
Right.
So they don't feel anything. They don't go through any trauma and drama. They don't get knocked out. I still get knocked out.
Me too.
Class and stuff. A couple days later, I'll go, my husband's so funny. I'll go, I don't know what's wrong, honey. I'm so tired. He's like, really? Didn't you teach this weekend? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, I want to let you know, Joan of Angels put, Kathy, this is amazing. Also, you look amazing. Thank you. I love the color of your room, by the way, Tamra.
Thank you.
Sure that's you. So anyway, so what the path to freedom is available, and there's going to be, as a student is ready, the teacher appears. And so many people, 90,000, something like that, 70,000 people worldwide are practitioners now, something like that.
No, I don't have that many practitioners.
Oh, I thought it was.
I wish. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
No, definitely hundreds of thousands of people have gone through the systems. There's over a couple thousand practitioners now. I am number one in Japan with the number one Japanese company, so that's really cool.
That's really cool. So that's what we're saying, is that there are people that are waking up, that are discovering this amazingly easier way to change, that you can see is available right now for you. And Tamra, do you want to talk a little bit about, you have regular recordings that are on your site, so somebody that may have a thyroid problem, they can go and get an audio that works on that frequencies, but they also can do workshops. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you offer?
Man, I got everything.
I know.
So we have a VIP section that has over 200 activations on it. And it's $26 a month, and go in and do whatever categories you need. And you start for $1. And we're changing things with how we're changing the VIP section, and we're adding in 2 live calls a month that will be in that. So that's coming soon. But you start for $1 a month. It's $26 a month, over 200 activations. And then we've got the other level, which has over 500 activations and master classes in it. So whatever you need to do, we have it for you. We also have free gifts. And then I have practitioner training, which is on demand. You do the practitioner training, you pay for the practitioner training once, and you repeat the practitioner training as many times as you want live. So you're always invited to a practitioner training. You only pay for it once. And I have people that redo the practitioner training every year, and because they level up every time and they just love it. And I feel so honored that they keep showing up, So you can start right here, right now. And once you get the golden seals, you can automatically start giving the activations to other people. There's no practice that you need. There's nothing to learn, because once you receive the golden seals, you have the program that you can do the Lord Metatron activation, which is 13 strands of DNA, the Christ consciousness activation, the flower of life activation. I mean, they're all there for you to automatically start using on yourself and your family and your friends, it's right there. And so as soon as you go through the training, you're ready to go. And then you could do the master training, the medical intuitive training. We have a timeline and parallel universe training, which is amazing. So I have everything you need to get going. And we also do Akashic Records trainings. So I have 5 different of those. We've actually moved them into 3. We have Akashic Records, which is a weekend, and then we have the Masters, which is one day, the Galactic, when you're working with the Galactic family, the next day. And then we have the 4th dimension, or the dimensional Akashic Records, which I was calling in heaven and hell, because you go into heaven and hell and you talk to people, and really heaven and hell, you know what that is? It's part of the matrix. It's the reincarnation line for this planet. And you don't have to go to heaven and hell, but you can go in there and talk to people, and you can free them of it. You can go in there and tell them, hey, you don't have to be here. Go this way, and they can leave. I did that with my uncle. I went in there, and I was teaching a class, and while I was teaching, I did the meditation to bring him in there, and I went in with him, and I saw my uncle. My uncle was a partier, man. He loved to party, and we grew up in a very Christian family, so that meant you're going to go to hell, right? I mean, and how we were growing up, there was like no dancing, no cards, nothing. I mean, it was just all of the devil. And so his belief system is that he was going to hell when he died. So I went in there, and there he was. And I'm all, what are you doing in here? You don't have to be here. And I talked to him, and he left. And because he stopped spinning out in that, he got some information that he didn't have to be there. And then we have animal communication. And the animal communication is the last class. Why? Because you need all those other classes to work with the animals. They're so incredible. And that, of course, includes dragons and unicorns and fairies and all kinds of stuff. And, of course, your pets. But sacred activations I'm so blessed, and I'm so thankful that I get to do this. And to bring this to you. I did not come up with this. This is source energy. This is God energy. This is universal energy. What do you want to call it? But it's the highest source energy, and I'm the steward of it. So I get to manage it, and I get to teach it. And I feel very honored to do that. So yeah, if you're interested in becoming, start with the activations. Do the activations. When you see the shifts, sign up for the practitioner training. And I don't care what other modalities you do. Fantastic. I like it when people are doing other modalities. Add sacred activations in. I had this chiropractor in my last medical intuitive training, or the one before that. I don't remember. But he said he ran activations on his client, and he didn't have to give him an adjustment. They didn't need it anymore. So, it doesn't matter what modalities you do, or if you're a nurse or a doctor. We have lots of doctors. We have chiropractors. We have anesthesiologists. And then we have people that do Reiki and hypnosis. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. Sacred activations is a great add-on. It's something else in your toolbox to help your clients. And I bet you anything, it's going to be one of your favorites.
Right. And every, that's a perfect example of how I use all of this work, is that I've taken, as I said, I've taken Tamra's work, the Sacred Activation Practitioner class, and I own a lot of the recordings. And I use them all the time, because when you're working with other clients, there's always a recognition, a mirror of what's in their field. Is if you can recognize it, you got it. And so this is in my toolkit. I highly recommend it, because we are here to serve, and this is one of the easiest ways to serve others, really.
It really is. It really is. I mean, it blows me away. And I'm just tickled pink that I get to offer this. I mean, I feel so honored. I got this actually doctor in Japan. That's a practitioner. Her husband went in the hospital with gallstones, and it was a vacation weekend, country weekend or whatever. And so they scheduled a surgery for Monday. And when they went to go do his surgery on Monday, he no longer had gallstones. And they said, it looks like somebody already cleared them all out. All the jaundice and everything was gone. All the stones were gone. So she was working on them with her medical intuitive training, and everything had changed when they were ready to go do surgery. So it was really cool. I love stories. I love all these stories. I just get so excited with people.
I love it. And I really do think that we forgot how magical this reality can be, that we are creating the reality. And this is another way for you to regain your power to do that for yourself and your loved ones, because this was supposed to be a playground. And Tamra and I used to, we both have crowns, is another thing. We have these beautiful crowns. She sent me one. No, you don't. Should I get mine? Okay. I know. Oh, I don't know where mine is. Darn. They used to be right there. Darn it. I don't know where it is. Oh, darn.
Well, I no longer have a crown.
We have to do something about that. Tamra sent me the same crown.
In Mexico, so it's very on the beach. It's very salty. That's funny. All right, I need a new crown.
So, well, what we want everyone to understand is that this time period and this period since the lockdown has really been a wake-up call for all of us to choose. And once you decide that you want something, you have the opportunity to clear the obstacles to you having that thing or doing that task or learning a modality, whatever it is that you feel in your heart is part of the reason why you're here and the gift that you'd like to share. It's just waiting for you. And so that's why I want everyone to know about sacred activations is the opportunity to shift out of the programs that you don't even know you're running is profound. This isn't like Reiki. It isn't like anything else you've ever done. It is like a car wash in a lot of ways. It just power washes your system of the old, it's like a defrag on your computer. You're defragging and getting rid of all the things that no longer serve, and then implementing and adding the positive, higher energy. Do you want to talk a little bit so people that are new to all of this understand about it's not dimensions or densities, the frequency difference? Because when we talk about happiness and joy, it may be pretty far from where they are right now. Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about how this helps them remember that's where they're from?
Well, that's the thing, is it keeps leveling you up to the next level. You can't go from, well, you can, but if you're in sorrow and sadness and sickness and you're locked into that, you just listen to the activations and it just keeps changing that and rewiring that for you. And what is it? David Hawkins has a pyramid showing the level of consciousness. And I think joy is like at the top. So when you keep shifting out those programs, you just keep leveling up to the higher levels and going into that joy. So sometimes you'll be in joy, sometimes you'll be in happiness. And then it just gets more and more and more where it's where all of your life is in joy and happiness. And it's a process. But I do have a song that I would like to share with you, which will help you. And I've had clients tell me that they're driving down the freeway and they start singing the song and they're like this, happy, happy, joy, joy. You know, because they're like so angry and they're so mad. And this will change your state like that to help you feel better, and it'll help center you. And the song goes like this. Happy, happy, joy, 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 happy, happy. Happy, happy, joy, 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 happy, happy. Happy, happy, joy, 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 happy, happy. Joy, joy, happy, happy. Basically like that. And when you sing that song, it's going to change your state. It's going to change your vibration, and it's going to help you feel better. I have a lot of clients that do this song a lot, and sometimes I wake up singing it.
I was singing with you, but I wanted a clean recording without the harmony of me singing with you.
I can't sing it without laughing. You know, I just start laughing when I sing it now.
Well, see, that's when you flip a switch and you say, okay, I'm not a victim. I'm going to take control. I'm going to sing this song. And all of a sudden, everything changes because it's a match to that higher vibration of joy, right?
Yeah. And the whole world is going into that higher vibration, as we know. It's getting a lot easier to stay in the energy of happiness and joy than it used to be. And when we're changing and we're doing things, it's much easier. Like when I started doing activation, it would take a half hour to run 2 activations, and maybe I can squeeze in 3. Now I can do like 20 activations in a half hour because it's come into the collective consciousness, and it's so much easier to flow through. And there's one other thing I want to really say about this before we finish is when you change you, everyone around you changes. So people at work, your family, strangers on the street change how they treat you. Everything changes. It affects everybody. And however you're feeling, you're affecting at least 750,000 people, because we are a collective consciousness. We're like cells in the body, and we're all different cells in the body. And each cell in your body also has a consciousness. Yep. So like the collective consciousness of the heart, right? Of your heart. How many cells are in there with all kinds of different ideas and stuff? You got to go talk to them. We'll teach you that in Medical Intuitive. Amazing, amazing class. These classes are here for you to assist you to be a better you.
Yahoo. The path to happiness and joy and well-being is possible, and I want to make sure that people know that this is a path that I highly recommend, as far as a way, whether you live in another country. It's all very affordable and all very doable, and I just hope that you'll go to Tamra's website and learn more about her and her work, and learn about how sacred activations could be the upliftment that could change your whole life. And you don't have to wait any longer. You can do
our pricing is so inexpensive compared to all the different modalities. And we have tons of free stuff to start with. You know, if you want to start and you're not sure, go do the activations, go do all the free stuff, you know, and in the trainings, they all have payment plans. So, you know, we're here to work with you. And if our payment plans are too expensive for you, email our support department. They'll help you with that. We're here for you.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the time that if you've just discovered this conversation, hope that you will take it to heart and take some action, because the life that you dream of is just a little far away. It's so close to you. There's there's a good chance the reason you're watching this is your soul is nudging you to this. So Tamra, why don't you let everyone know the best way to get a hold of you for their next step in their joyful evolution?
My name right there.com.
Okay.
That's it.
TamraOviatt.com.
TamraOviatt.com.
Right. And again, once you discover Tamra, you'll see how down to earth all of this is. This isn't an ego multi-level marketing like training program. This is for everyone. And as she said, try the free ones, and you'll see right away the difference. I mean, it's amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much, Tamra. Thank you. God bless this work.
Thank
you. And
thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Kathy. I'm so excited to be on with you today.
Always. And okay, everybody, again, go to TamraOviatt.com and please share this conversation. If you feel you have loved ones, family, or friends that really could benefit from this, please share this, because the time is perfect for all of this work to happen. So thank you, dear. Thanks, Tamra. Always a blessing. Blessing. Thank you.
I'm going to break my crown. What the heck?